This mini-movie is a mystery/thriller/drama which stars Idris Elba and Beyonce. It's about a successful corporate executive who was the subject of their company's new temporary workers' fatal attraction that nearly destroyed his marriage. Try guessing the Rotten Tomatoes score by the end. There will be spoilers. Let's get started. Our movie opens with a young couple, Derek Charles, his wife Sharon, and their baby moving into their new home. The couple came ahead of the movers, and so they explored their new home while their baby peacefully slept in his carriage. The couple played around and got intimate in one of the rooms. While Sharon instructs the movers where each piece of furniture goes, Derek drives to work. In his office elevator, Derek ends up being the last one inside with another woman. He continues to read the newspaper while the woman sneaks peek at him. He glances at the woman and asks if she is a client. The woman says she is a temp, which surprised Derek. The temp appeared interested in Derek, dropped her files, picked them up, and intentionally exposed her limbs, which didn't escape Derek's eyes. Derek bends to help her gather her things. Upon reaching his floor, Derek got off. The temp followed and said she is looking for Derek Charles. Pretending not to be Derek Charles, he told the temp to watch out because he is an asshole. The temp finds Derek's office and she realizes that Derek tricked her. Derek's assistant saw the temp's amused face, so he warns her that Derek is married. As Derek leaves work that day, the temp introduces herself to Derek as Lisa. One day, Derek finds the temp at his assistant's desk. Derek asked where his assistant was. The temp says he got the stomach flu. Derek then asked the temp to come to his office for instructions. As Derek reels off his instructions, he finds out that the temp had already done some of the tasks. This left quite an impression on Derek, and the temp stated she isn't a typical temp. The temp, or the temptress, as Derek's friend calls her, is the talk of the men in their office, and they say Derek always got the eye candies. Sharon, Derek's wife, was his former assistant. Sharon found out that Derek's assistant was sick, and a female temp took his place. The next day, Sharon visited Derek's office with their baby to check out Derek's temp. The temp entered Derek's office with his coffee, saw the family, and gushed over their baby. Sharon told Derek he better make sure his male assistant reports for work the following day. Derek's assistant returns to work, and so Derek sighed a sigh of relief, but immediately after, saw Lisa walk towards his boss's assistant's desk. He asked what happened to his boss's assistant, and Lisa said she got the stomach flu as well. On the day of the office Christmas party, Sharon reminds Derek to take a meal before the party. Derek eats his dinner at his favorite bar, and while he is eating, Lisa arrives. She sat beside him and ordered the same meal as Derek. After dinner, she ordered 2 martinis. No matter how much Derek refused, she still convinced him to drink. At the office party, Derek danced with his boss's assistant. Lisa cuts in and maneuvers Derek towards the mistletoe. She dared him for a kiss, but he didn't take the dare and went for the men's room. Lisa followed and cornered Derek. Derek angrily rushed out of the men's room and out of the party. The following day, Lisa acted as if nothing happened. As Derek leaves for home that day, he walks to his car, and as he hooks his seat belt, the car door opens and Lisa gets in. She said she would like to apologize for what happened at the party. Derek says they both had a few drinks, so they should just forget about it. Lisa says what if she can't and flashed Derek. Derek tells Lisa not to touch him, screams at her to get out of his car and then revs away. That night, Derek was about to tell Sharon about Lisa but found her quietly sitting in the dark. When asked what was wrong, Sharon said she just spoke with her sister about her brother-in-law's infidelity with a random woman at work. This changed Derek's mind and decided not to tell Sharon about the temp stalking him at work. The next day, Derek went to their HR manager's office to report his problem with Lisa but found out she quit. Derek was relieved. His family spent the Christmas holidays in peace. As Derek and Sharon come home from their New Year's celebration, Derek's email pings. He didn't want to check, but Sharon insisted. While Sharon was inside the bathroom, Derek opened the email and several photos of Lisa in a seductive pose came popping out. He scrambled to delete all pictures just in time before Sharon peeks behind his back. Few days later, Derek packs for a work retreat. Sharon reminds him not to get drunk. At the hotel where the work retreat was, Derek finds out Lisa has checked in at the same hotel. He confronted her, and while they were arguing, Derek looked away for a minute, so Lisa deceitfully sprinkled some powder into Derek's drink which caused him to feel drowsy. Derek's friend reminded him to be at the conference room by 9 in the morning for their boss's presentation. Lisa slipped into Derek's room that night. The following day, Derek was startled by the housekeeping's knock on his door. He came sheepishly into the conference room as his boss was presenting. A little while later, a hotel staff came in and whispered that his wife was outside. Outside waiting was Lisa. Again, they got into an argument since Lisa insisted on celebrating the morning after. Derek calmly ends the argument by saying there is never going to be anything between them and then returns to the meeting room. After lunch, Derek returns to his room and finds Lisa in her undergarments, lying on his bed. When he tried waking her up, she found her unconscious. She overdosed, so he immediately called 911. Later that night, Sharon called Derek's friend to ask for Derek. Derek's friend told Sharon what happened. Sharon rushed to the hospital and found Derek. Just before Derek could tell Sharon what happened, the investigating detective came to give an update of their investigation around Lisa's suicide attempt. Derek requested that Sharon be present during the meeting. Sharon exploded in anger at home and asked Derek to leave. The investigation continues and Derek requests a restraining order against Lisa, but the detective says it is unnecessary because Lisa's sister took her to San Francisco. Meanwhile, Sharon refused to take Derek back and went into visitation arrangements for their son. It continued for 3 months. Sharon saw how devoted Derek was to their son, so when Derek's birthday came around, she agreed to go out to dinner with him. While they were at dinner, Lisa came to Derek's home and introduced herself as Sharon's friend to the babysitter. When the babysitter didn't allow her to see Derek's son, Lisa pretended to call Sharon. The babysitter believed her, so Lisa was allowed to go up to the baby's room, and Lisa ended up bringing the child out while the babysitter was busy on her phone. As Derek and Sharon arrived, the babysitter mentioned Lisa's visit, which caused Sharon to panic and rush to find her son missing. As Derek gets in his car to look for Lisa and his son, he finds his son at the back of his car. At the hospital, where Derek's son was checked, the detective came and was angrily ordered by Sharon to find Lisa. Derek and Sharon installed a security system for their home which somehow gave them some sense of protection. Everything went back to normal, so the couple planned a weekend vacation to see Sharon's parents. Derek left for the office that day and planned to follow them there. As Derek left, he reminded Sharon to turn on the security system when she leaves. After fixing things, Sharon prepared to leave to pick up their son from her sister's place. Lisa was waiting outside their home watching Sharon leave the house. Apparently, Lisa called Derek's assistant and learned about the weekend vacation. When Sharon left, she forgot to switch on the security system. Lisa was able to get inside, go to the master's bedroom, sprinkle rose petals on the bed, and lay there. Sharon, in the meantime, called Derek to update him, and in their conversation Derek mentioned about the security alarm. Sharon realized she missed it and drove back home. While inside, she heard some noise upstairs. She slowly went to their room and found Lisa lying on their bed. Sharon and Lisa got into a fistfight. Derek tried to call Sharon to check on her, but Lisa answered the call. Derek was shocked hearing Lisa's voice. Knowing something was wrong, he rushed home and called the detective. Sharon and Lisa's fistfight reached the attic. Sharon cleverly steered Lisa towards the weak flooring that caused Lisa to crash onto the ground floor. Lisa died after the chandelier fell upon her. Derek, the detective, and the police arrive as a bloodied Sharon comes out of the house. She runs towards Derek, hugs him and says, "It's over." That's the end of our mini-movie. Can you guess the movie rating? We'll give you a moment. Obsessed was released in 2009 and critics gave it a 19% tomato score, 46% by the audience, and Mini Movies rates it 7 out of 10 doggy treats. If you enjoyed this mini movie, you can support the movie by watching Obsessed or following us on social media.